Hi guys, my name is Amanda Powers, and my major is within social working, but I minor within criminal justice. I've had a lot of ideas and thoughts about the type of social working job I would like to do. Of course, there's always, working at the hospital, nursing homes, doing psychology work and mental health work. Um, there's all kinds of things that you can do within social work, but the main job that I'm really interested is being a victim's advocate within my justice system. As you can see today, I'm wearing my domestic violence awareness t-shirt because I'm one very fond about learning about domestic violence, but also helping my community, women and children escape domestic violence as well as men to escape domestic violence. So, to dive into it, my research topic, of course, is going to be why is it crucial for the justice system to have victim advocates? And my research question today is how does this benefit a victim to have a victim's advocate? I have 4 journal articles that I would like to discuss with you guys today, kind of dive into what those articles talked about, some of the little things that they had in there. And just some of the things that I took away from the journal articles. The first one is called The Predictive Validity of Intimate Partner Violence Warning Signs. So this article explained what intimate partner violence is and the different warning signs that come with it. So warning signs are a big red flag, as we all know. And in every relationship, you always have warning signs or red flags of somebody, but you can really kind of tell when somebody's actually an abuser. The unfortunate is that a lot of people are clouded minded at that point. A lot of times abusers can act arrogant and entitled. They keep victims from having economical resources, having a job or obtaining a job. They'll have them constantly call out all the time, that type of stuff, just so that they'll get rid of the job. They really just don't want you to leave them or get away or not depend solely on them. They love it when their victims can depend solely on them. A lot of times abusers do physical harm, like throwing, hitting, punching, scratching, choking, all kinds of things. Verbal abuse is a very big thing, which is name calling the person cuss words and things like that. And of course, sexual abuse. Of course, you always have, rape. That's one of the ways you can know what sexual abuse is. But a lot of times not everybody knows this, that sexual abuse is also characterized as not allowing the victim to use contraceptives, man or woman. If it's a woman, she doesn't want the man to use a condom or other things like that. For a woman, you're not allowed to take that pill, those type of things. And they're very stickler on it. Victim advocates, though, play a role in discussing these things to a victim and the warning signs that were in their relationship. My next journal article is called The Victim's Advocate Perception of Legal Work. This is written by Kenneth H. Kolb. This article mostly talked about victim advocate roles in the court system, as well as what they do outside the courts. This article states victim advocates are trained in legal strategies before offering them to their clients. They listen to their victims, they help them navigate the legal process, what will be next, what will happen probably during the legal process. They help them emotionally through the legal process, of course. They give them information on domestic violence and resources that can help a victim not go back to the abuser and get away. Victim advocates work with the police officers and the DA as well as the prosecution in the courtroom. They do help with obtaining evidence, and they also help at the domestic violence shelter, cooking, cleaning, whatever they can do to help the victims and their children. My third article I used is called Domestic Violence Survivors and their experiences during legal process. This article explained what victims felt when going through the legal process. A lot of times, police officers don't tend to also believe victims. They're trained to believe them, but not a lot of times do police officers actually believe them. They just start thinking, oh, you're just trying to get this man in trouble, those types of things. So they're trained also to talk to the police officers and train them in having just more care for victims or people that are saying, they've been abused. It talks about why the survivors stayed silent for so long. Survivors, they did tend to stay silent because they were scared the abuser would ever come after them or hurt them, kill their children. A lot of times abusers would try to use children over the victims, and so that made the victims stay in that relationship even when they didn't want to be there. Victim advocates normally ask how long the abuse had been going on. They try to get a time frame of how long the abuse had been going on. They want to try to obtain, picture evidence. Did you go to the hospital? Do you have the hospital paperwork? Could you find any? There's all kinds of different things that the advocates can help the victims, just so that their legal process goes smoothly and they have a lot of evidence against the abuser, of course, because of overtime of the abuse. My fourth article I use is called Investigators and Prosecutors' Perceptions on Collaborating with Victim Advocates on Sexual Casework. So this talks about the positive impact that advocates have on the legal process. It shows how advocates have a care job and a legal job. So of course, advocates, they care for the victims. They help them mentally, help them get out of that situation. They'll give them a place to stay at the shelter, food, those types of things. But they also have a legal process. They look just like lawyers. And that's kind of what this article said. They look just like lawyers. And they sit with the lawyers and everything, and they try to win this victim's case ultimately. And they're also a team in the legal process with everybody. They try to be a teammate for everyone and help anyone who needs the extra help. For this research method, I would say I would do the descriptive qualitative research method because I feel this could give me access into the victim advocate job. This research could be conducted through interviews with advocates as well as victims. Some strengths with this research method is having one-on-one experiences and background knowledge of this advocating job. The publication manual of the American Association on page 5 talks about how qualitative research generates knowledge about human experiences and action. Limitations that I could experience is lack of availability or time from a victim or an advocate. Going back on the what the publication manual talked about, qualitative does really go based off of human experiences, and victim advocating is, of course, human experiences as well as domestic victims' abuse and everything that they went through. That's also their human experience as well as their own opinions. So qualitative research method, I feel, would be the best route to go. The reliability and validity of this research process is always 50-50. In the publication manual of the American Association on page 5, it also states that researchers often use process of analysis in which they examine finding from continued data and refine the initial findings. So not always will some tell the truth. This method is honestly based on how they feel. Surveys also can and can't be reliable because if they were rushed, a survey due to lack of time or availability. Not all the answers may be honestly true. They may have just been circling something in just because they didn't have enough time. So to collect my data, I would use surveys, hold case studies, and maybe a focus group with just domestic violence victims and how they felt about actually having a victim advocate there with them in the courtroom or just everyday, day-to-day type help. I think it's crucial to have a victim, and I think that's why it's crucial to have a victim's advocate. I would analyze my data by gathering my notes, the surveys, and any recordings I may have. To conclude, why does it benefit a victim to have a victim's advocate? The best method for this research is the descriptive qualitative research method, and the challenges and limitations are always probable if a survey was rushed or lack of time. If the focus group was with just victims and they did not want to partake in it, along with the emotions, PTSD, other mental health issues, or just the fact that they may be scared that the abuser would find out that they took that survey or, they were part of that focus group, that might be a reason why they don't want to partake in it, or that the abuser could ultimately find them. I hope that this answered a lot of questions. Thanks for listening to me for a little bit for today. And I hope you learned a little bit about what victim advocates do and why they're so crucial in the justice system. Bye.